Behind me is a high place. A high place was a place where idols were worshipped during the time of the Israelites as they were in the land. Back and forth, they went from worshiping God to worshiping idols and back again. God would teach them a lesson by bringing some wrath upon them or an invasion or something else by saying, hey, I am the only God. Finally, Hezekiah comes to power and a revival breaks out. King Hezekiah tells all the people in all the areas around his kingdom, destroy all the high places. The only place we're to worship is in Jerusalem, and the only God we're to worship is Yahweh. Well, what I have behind me is a high place that's been moved here. It was dug up in a place called Arad. Arad is a biblical city, but it's only mentioned once as the place where Caleb's son actually conquered and occupied. This particular high place is a Holy of Holies that you're looking at here. It was a high place that worshiped God, but it wasn't in Jerusalem. It was in Arad. And it was set up just like the temple in Jerusalem. The layout was slightly different, but the function was perfect. They had an altar made to the prescribed size that was given to Moses from God for altars. This particular Holy of Holies being very small, you can see two square pillars out in front of it, one large and one small. These particular pillars are altars of incense, where incense would be burned over charcoal fires in front of a Holy of Holies, representing the prayers of people going up to God and how God loved the aroma. Inside this high place, in the Holy of Holies, there's only one showing here, but originally they found two tablets resembling the 10 Commandments, one large one and one small. You would expect on those tablets you would find commandments 1 through 5 and 6 through 10, just like Charlton Heston had in the 10 Commandments. But that's not what they found. They found 1 through 10 and 1 through 10 on each tablet. Because when a covenant was made between two people, a very holy and important covenant, they would make two identical copies, a larger one and a lesser one. The larger one for the greater portion of the greater person involved in the covenant, and the smaller one for the lesser person involved in the covenant. And when they found this, suddenly it made all the sense in the world why there were two tablets in the Ark of the Covenant. When Moses came down from the mountain, he had two identical tablets, 1 through 10 and 1 through 10. And then what you would do when you made a covenant, the lesser party would take their half and put it into their holiest shrine, the place where they kept ceremonial cups or plates, whatever it was that they were using for sacred purposes, and they'd put it there. What was the holiest shrine for the Israelites? The Ark of the Covenant. Of course, the greater party would take theirs and put it in their holiest shrine, which for God was the Ark of the Covenant. Both tablets went into the Ark of the Covenant. One as a witness to the people for the covenant that was made with God, and the other one as a witness to the people, God handing them his portion of the covenant, saying, this is the covenant I will have with you. You can look at it, you can see it, there it is. Even though it's sealed up in the ark, they knew it was there. They knew what it was all about. So this particular high place, why does it still exist? Because it was worship to Yahweh. And the priests that were doing this, though they were wrong and out of order and out of obedience to God, disobedience to God, they buried it rather than destroying it. And recently, the archaeologists discovered a complete high place intact, buried under Arad, and they brought part of it here to the Israel Museum. And now you see it, and now you know, and I hope you understand God's covenant a little bit better. He wanted everybody to know what it is that he did with his people, and he loved them. And here's my witness, as he said, my half of the covenant. You keep it, you put it in the ark under my mercy seat, so that you can know I made this covenant to you in love. There it is. So, Israel Museum, buried high place. Interesting stuff. God bless you.